Hello, and welcome back to the EnterpriseJoy podcast, Enterprise Strategies for Leaders in Under 5 Minutes. I'm Vishal, your mover and shaker of making unseen side of leadership visible, valuable, and vital. And this week, we are back after our hiatus, talking about something leaders spend much of their energy on and yet rarely get the credit for: the invisible work of leadership. Before we proceed, just in case you're curious what we were up to during our hiatus, we just launched our labs at EnterpriseJoy, a home for our frameworks, playbooks, templates, and accelerators, including the ones we speak of at this podcast. For more information, check out our labs on enterprisejoy.com. Now, coming back to what I mean by the invisible work of leadership. It is the effort that does not show up in our OKRs, our dashboards, or the promotion packets. Work like sensemaking when the environment shifts, stitching teams together across silos, coaching individuals during uncertainty, or quietly setting the tone that psychological safety actually matters. When done well, it feels natural, almost effortless. However, when it's absent, the notice is almost immediate. Karl Weick, the organizational theorist, describes leadership as an ongoing act of sense-making, or giving people a coherent story to act on during ambiguous times. It may not be glamorous, and it becomes the bedrock of execution. Here's a number to make it real. Microsoft's Work Trend Index found that knowledge workers spend more than half their time, that's close to 57%, in communication. That's meetings, chats, and emails, which leaves only 43% on actual creation. That communication, or over-communication as expected by many leaders, is the overhead of leadership, the leadership tax of modern work, and much of it is invisible. Another form of invisible work is what researchers Linda Babcock and colleagues have called non-promotable tasks. These are the necessary and undervalued duties like organizing, note-taking, and keeping teams socially glued together. Their studies show women are disproportionately saddled with these tasks, often at the expense of their own advancement. Unless leaders step in to rebalance this, that load stays hidden and expensive. And in engineering teams, Tanya Reilly's Being Glue captures a similar truth. Every organization needs people who do the integration work like onboarding, reviews, maintaining standards, and these keep things from falling apart. But unless it's acknowledged and rewarded, those performing these activities risk burnout and stagnation. One of my favorite stories to highlight this comes from 1987, when Paul O'Neill became the CEO of Alcoa. He shocked the Wall Street by declaring safety, not profits, safety, as his number one priority. He set up a system where every injury was reported immediately, executives were expected to respond within 24 hours, and he personally called leaders who solved problems at the root. What looked like soft focus became keystone habit. Communication improved, trust deepened, efficiency rose, and profits, they went up. Harvard Business School later documented this as a case study in invisible leadership at scale, proving that quiet, unseen work of changing daily habits can transform an entire enterprise. On that note, here's the liner for this week. On Monday, we'll map out the main categories of invisible work. On Tuesday, we'll explore ways to measure and make them visible. On Wednesday, we'll talk about leverage. On Thursday, we'll see how the culture acts as a multiplier. On Friday, we'll unpack a few case studies. And finally, on Saturday, we'll wrap up with a reflection tool to recalibrate your own invisible work. So here's to a great week ahead of making the invisible visible. I'm Vishal, and this is the EnterpriseJoy podcast, Enterprise Strategies for Leaders in Under 5 Minutes. Spot your invisible leadership moments today. I'll see you tomorrow.